Welcome back, True Seeker. It is February 7th, 2026, the 38th day of the year. Every year on this day, fateful stories in the world of celebrity. And if you're new here, there's a very specific reason why the number 38 is fateful in the Kabbalistic practice of Gematria. Again, look up the song Gematria, the Killing Name by Slipknot. Two members of that band have died, both in connection to the number 38. The first member did die at age 38. Again, Gematria is the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, and all of these words equal 38. Death, murder, killing, RIP. And so often when people die in connection to these numbers, there's a theme to it. Like in the case of Slipknot, they did the song Gematria, the Killing Name. In the case of Three Doors Down and their singer Brad Arnold, their hit song's Kryptonite, which comes from Superman. And what year was Superman created? In 1938. So there's a lot to this. And the other thing that always happens is right around sports championships, you just see a lot of celebrities die, as we've been covering and been super busy with covering in the days leading up to the Super Bowl. This man's dead at 47. As we'll get to, he died 211 days after the release of the last Superman movie. That's the 47th prime number. In Gematria, rock equals 47, as does time. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. I guess because of how I've adjusted my bookshelf. Here, let me make this bigger for a second. The license plate behind me, let me see if it shows up in the dark. With the glare, it's kind of hard to make out, but it says, what is 47? That license plate behind me, it's been behind me for a decade. Again, 47 is a very special number to the occult, but it largely has to do with time and authority. And of course, time is the ultimate authority. The Masons, Masonry is huge in the world of entertainment. They study the 47th problem of Euclid, American football, credited to the Freemason Walter Camp. But again, the first Super Bowl season was in the 47th season of the NFL. That was the 66-67 season. And one of the teams in the Super Bowl this year, Seattle, from the 47th parallel, big music city, the grunge scene. They refer to Three Doors Down as one of the bands that broke the grunge mold, which was the popular rock genre for the era. So Three Doors Down is considered the post-grunge era. And no doubt when you're watching the Super Bowl tomorrow, I won't be surprised if they play a Three Doors Down song as they go to commercial break tomorrow, but you'll be hearing them play Alice in Chains and Nirvana and Soundgarden and R.I.P. You know what's funny? The only living Seattle musician from that era in terms of singers and frontmen is Eddie Vedder. I guess Dave Grohl, he wasn't the singer for Nirvana, he was the drummer, but then he became the singer for Foo Fighters. But yeah, the only living singer from that era is Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, which used to be called Mother Love Bone. And for people who don't know, their singer, Mother Love Bone, Andrew Wood, he died, and then Eddie Vedder replaced him. But yeah, there's a lot to this, so we're going to go through it. And then I'm going to talk more about Super Bowl 60. And if you guys are paying attention, it could be quite lucrative tomorrow because we're definitely onto a pattern. If you saw the historic upset of UNC over Duke with the comeback, we like that today. I'll get to why we like that. But of course, that's Drake May's school, UNC. Yeah, we'll talk about it. There's actually a connection with that and this. And as crazy as that might sound if you're new here, it's all numbers driven, and I'll show you just what I mean. But yeah. Gematria, if you're new here, there are 4 base ciphers of the English language. The alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26 letters, 26. You can see rock equates to 47 in that most simple cipher. R is the 18th letter using the alphabetic order. O is the 15th. C is the 3rd. K is the 11th. So there's the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology, 3 doors down equates to 47. And as we'll get to, when you run it forwards, it equals 49, like Super Bowl. Like tomorrow, the 49ers are hosting the Super Bowl in a rematch of Super Bowl 49. Superman, the biggest movie of last summer. Again, Three Doors Down's hit song is Kryptonite. Comes from the Superman series. The Seahawks wear the jerseys inspired by Kryptonite, the bright green jersey sometimes. And Seattle's the Emerald City. Obviously, Kryptonite's a form of green, but And pretty much all the Seahawks uniforms have that bright green on. Even their common uniforms have the bright green on it. But anyway, from the release of Superman to the death, 211 days, 47th prime. And the single for that song, Kryptonite, came out January 18th, 2000. From the anniversary of its release until the death, 20 days. We just talked about this, what they just did with this number with Lil Jon and his son. Again, death, time, cross, seasons, all 20. The cross, a symbol of death. And again, a lowercase t. T is the 20th letter, just using the alphabetic order. A lowercase t is a cross. Fateful number here, the 20. And just in the base ciphers, you can see how rock and time overlap. Rock and time, rock musician, right? Rock also has the 20 connection, but it's a quadruple overlap in the base ciphers. Rock and time, all exact matches. And, you kind of associate music with time. You hear a song and you're like, oh yeah, I remember how old I was. I remember going to that dance and that was the song, or, that party and that was brand new. I mean, we associate music with time. We hear a song and remember how old we were. A lot of the times. The older you get, you might be like, wait a minute, was I 15 or was I 60? But anyway, and the thing is, songs, they can be timeless. So just like a rock, a rock, seemingly it never ages. Some good songs, they just stay good forever too. But yeah, they won their Grammy for this song February 21st, 2001. 400 days from its release as a single. That has a square root of 20. And they're dead right after the Grammys. And remember, we just had the 68th Grammys. And the day after the 68th Grammys, the Three Dog Night singer died. They put out their first album in 68. It happens every year with the award shows, too. So, yeah, those were the 43rd annual Grammy Awards. And we'll come back to why the 43 matters so much. The reporting said Brad Arnold, the lead singer of Three Doors Down, has died. The band confirmed in a Facebook post on Saturday he was 47. The Grammy-nominated rocker announced in May, and we'll go back and look at that announcement and how it factors into the death, he had been diagnosed with cancer. As a founding member, by the way, I should have put it here. Cancer in the base ciphers has the 26 connection. He's dead in 2026, but he's also dead 26 years after the song came out. And the song came out, here, let's look at that again, because it just clicked in my brain. The song came out on 1/18, right? 2000. So it just turned 26 years old. Cancer, 26 and 1/18. So many celebrities die so young from cancer. And to me, it's baffling because people who have money, there's state-of-the-art cancer treatment. Really rich people are flying into Seattle, for example. I live up here in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of really wealthy people flying from all over to Seattle to get cutting-edge cancer treatment. I would imagine most of these celebrities have the money to do it. These guys sold 30 million albums, so unless he was wild with it. Hold on. My daughter's trying to come in here. Where'd you go, cutie pie? Hey, you. Come on, big cutie. Come on, big cutie. She always loves to come talk trendy with what? Oh yeah, those bright lights. Those bright lights. Those boo, boo. Yeah, bright light. All right, you gonna present with me? So yeah, just about being dead at 47. One of the biggest music scenes when they came on the scene, Seattle on the 47th parallel. Again, right before the Super Bowl in this. Super Bowl 47, always a big number. First Super Bowl in the 47th season of the NFL. The Seahawks have the Kryptonite-inspired uniforms. I went back and looked up when they debuted those uniforms. It was December 15th, 2016. It's interesting because that's the day leaving 16 days left in the year in 2016, and now they're playing in the Super Bowl in San Francisco. By the way, the company that built the stadium where the Super Bowl is from Seattle. Magnus and Klemenkic Associates. But remember, week 16 this year, the first game of week 16, the Seahawks had their first ever 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter to start week 16 on the same day that Greg Biffle died, number 16 in NASCAR, who's from Washington State. And that was the day Trump declared the Patriot Games. And remember, Trump had just won the election in 2016. I have to look up if Trump ever referred to himself as super. Oh, no, are you okay, love bug? Are you okay, love bug? You're a tough girl. You hit your head pretty hard there. My love, are you okay? That was a tough head bump. Got to be careful. You got to watch that head. I'm going to have to look up if Trump ever referred to himself as Superman. I mean, he's even called himself Vince Lombardi, so the odds he called himself Superman. Oh, hold on, Mom. The camera's on. She's tough, but she just kind of hit her head hard.
I wish that would happen.
Yeah, I do wonder about Trump. I might have to look into that later. Just him being member 47. Of course, Trump equals 47 as well. But yeah, I noticed that the night they debuted the Kryptonite inspired jerseys, there was 27 points. Now he's dead on 2-7. If you guys didn't know, their band is named after a sign they saw in Foley, Alabama. And of course, Alabama, you think of Alabama, you think of football. But Foley, look at the gematria of Foley, 27 and 72. You can write today's date, February 7th, the day of his passing, 2-7 or 7-2. And in light of this, theme with the Seahawks jerseys who are in the Super Bowl tomorrow, 3 doors down, 130 and 49, like Washington, as in the state. Remember once upon a time when the Seahawks were a plus 350 payout on November 11th at the 49ers. This time it's almost the other way around. The Patriots are the big underdogs, but it was years ago. It was Washington State's birthday. Primetime, November 11th. 49ers were heavy favorites versus the Seahawks. Seahawks won that game, and Pete Carroll got his 130th regular season win on Washington's birthday. But yeah, rematch of Super Bowl 49. Super Bowl has the 49ers hosting. Remember, it's 227 days after Mike McDonald's birthday tomorrow, the game. 49th prime. This Super Bowl is in tribute to 60-year-old Shawn Michaels. Getting the NFC and AFC championship are both Shawn versus Mike. Michaels, you got 2 Mikes for the Super Bowl coaches. But Shawn Michaels, born on 2/27, again, won the WrestleMania tournament in 96 in a 60-minute bout. Now 60 years old, and they synced up Super Bowl 60 with Shawn Michaels. Again, if you're new here, the Super Bowl is totally rigged and fixed. The NFL is a complete joke. But they do sacrifice people for this complete rigged, sick joke every single year. And one of the biggest Super Bowl numbers, Bradley Arnold equals 131 like Super Bowl. We were just talking about this last week, and then the news headline broke that a former Patriot son was arrested with 131 felony charges. It's like, 131 for a former Super Bowl winner for the Patriots. I watched a bunch of short news media clips. Every single one used the same exact wording. He died peacefully in his sleep. 131. That's what I hate our news media, you guys. There's no journalism out there. There's no investigative reporting. There's just reporting the lies to you with everyone reading the same script that comes from the same source that gets syndicated across all these networks. He died peacefully in his sleep. 131, like his name, like Super Bowl. And with regards to winning that award for the 43rd Grammys, big number at the Seahawks. They won their only Super Bowl with 43 points. Again, the team sporting the Kryptonite green. That was Super Bowl 48. Seahawks equals 48, like DC Comics. Superman also equates to Seattle and Gematria, and Superman actually has been set in the Seattle city, some Superman episodes, so Superman is not foreign to Seattle. He's died in the 43rd week since the anniversary of the release of the first ever Superman comic, April 18th, 1938. And, it's interesting that the first Superman came out on April 18th because that's the 108th day of the year, and both teams get 108 game balls for the Super Bowl. And it's not arbitrary. The word geometry equals 108. The most important shape in sacred geometry is the Vesica Pisces, which is the shape of the football. But yeah, he's also, he has that very special day to the Jesuits for a birthday, the day in history the Jesuits were recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, September 27th, from his birthday to his death, 133 days, football 133. Remember, the NFL was founded 133 days, 133 years to the day of the Constitution being born, and government also equals 133. And of course, the if the media is the fourth wing of government, the propaganda wing, the sports leagues, especially the NFL, are the fifth wing of government. They're the circus, the Coliseum, to keep the proles entertained enough that they don't rebel against all the lies and tyranny they have to suffer and pay for with their taxes. I noticed that from the debut of the kryptonite-inspired uniforms to Tom Brady becoming 5-2 in Super Bowls on the 5th of February, which can also be written 2-5 like 25. That was where the Patriots had the 25-point comeback over the Falcons. Remember that total script? Falcons equals 25. That was against Matt Ryan, who went to the Jesuit University Boston College. Gives up the 25-point lead to the Boston team, the Patriots. But yeah, that game was 50, or the debut of those kryptonite jerseys was 52 days before Brady became 5-2 in Super Bowls. And remember, this year in Week 16, when the Seahawks had the crazy comeback on the Rams, just like I was saying, these jerseys debuted in 2016 on the day, leaving 16 days left in the year. The day that the Seahawks had that crazy comeback on the Rams, that was the same day that Trump declared the Patriot Games in honor of Charlie Kirk, which was 52 days before the Super Bowl. So, and Superman is referred to as a patriot often in the comic book series. So again, the Seahawks have the kryptonite, and the Patriots got the Superman thing. And by the way, the last time the Super Bowl was in San Francisco, Cam Newton lost to Peyton Manning. What did they call Cam Newton? They called him Superman. Cam Newton always did the tearing his vest like he was Clark Kent. Don't forget who told you in Week 3 everything about that Super Bowl. Week 3 of that season, I told you both teams, the exact outcome, who'd be the MVP, and why the Black Panthers would be the subject of the halftime show. All of it happened. Broncos over Panthers. Von Miller, the MVP. Cam Newton, the 58th quarterback to start in the Super Bowl in tribute to Huey P. Newton. And Von Miller, number 58, drafted one pick behind Cam, the MVP, all in Week 3. The power of this knowledge. It's amazing anybody could doubt it in 2026. But yeah, Superman made the debut April 18th, 1938. Now, Mr. Kryptonite singer dead on the 38th day of the year. And notice that means that this year, Superman will turn 88 years old. April 18th, it'll turn 88. So that means it's 87 years old and change right now. Notice that from the leader of the Jesuit Order's birthday, and again, if you're new here, the Jesuits gave us the calendar and the language and control the NFL and all these rigged sports leagues and your nation's government. Prove it every single day. 87 days after the Superior General's birthday. Superior General 87, Seahawks 87, the team with the kryptonite uniforms. Where was this band named? In Foley, Alabama, on the 87th meridian. 30th parallel, too. Remember, Saturn has a 30-year return. The Grim Reaper scythe comes from the sickle of Saturn, the astrological symbol. This band was founded in 1996, 30 years ago. 30 years after the creation of the band on the 30th parallel, or at least where it was named. This happens on a Saturn's day. Okay. Yeah, again, dead on the 38th day of the year, death 38. You look up a movie poster like Murder by Numbers, 38 right on the cover, in the words, murder 38. The song Murder is also 83. Like the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. It's about killings as simple as ABC as 1, 2, 3. Sandra Bullock's the star of that movie, 83. Movie came out on a very important day to the Jesuits. The day in history Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general. Movie came out 38 weeks after Sandra Bullock's birthday. And yeah, just killing, death, RIP, Gematria, English, Kabbalah, all 38. And this whole thing comes from Kabbalah. And from the announcement on May 7th that he was dying from cancer to the death 276 days later, Hot Hand Dave's going to go crazy when he sees that. He's been talking about how there's something going on with 276 in this Super Bowl. 276 is the 23rd triangular number. End equals 23. The end of his life, at least in this realm. And today also has 35 date numerology. Superman 35. Football and Super Bowl are also 35. Again, the last Super Bowl in San Francisco, Cam Newton, who referred to himself as Superman, lost. Cam Newton also equals 108, like the Superman series came out on the 108th day of the year. Panthers also equals 38, like Superman came out in 38. Fox News pointed out that their band in 2023 played a benefit concert for Fox News. They didn't elaborate on that, but I do wonder if that had anything to do with Trump. I don't know if the band was political. I didn't look into all that. I don't know about the politics of Three Doors Down, but just with regards to Trump, Mr. 47, Trump equals 47. It makes one wonder. So, all right. Sweet Girl's trying to come back in here. Hold on. I'm going to get Sweet Girl, and then I got to show you guys a couple more things. Yeah, the bright lights. Everything that sounds like with the B is the boo. Books are booze, balls are booze, birds are booze, bright lights are booze. Sweet girl. Thank you for that special greeting. Daddy loves that. All right. Now, for other things going on in the world. Historic upset tonight of North Carolina over Duke. And my advice today for my community for college basketball was follow the 21s and the 19s. And today had 19 date numerology path, which breaks down to 1. And Saturn equals 21, and it usually plays on Saturday. Notice Duke stayed on 21 wins, and Drake Mays College, North Carolina, got the 19th win. And the 19th win's interesting because Drake in college basketball, just about a week back, Drake has that 21 connection, but they had Drake, the college basketball team, just had a 19-point comeback. You see how Seattle's also 82 as well? Well, you see how Seattle, here, since we're talking about Superman, Superman's got the 107 like Seattle. But Seattle 82, New England Patriots, if I can type it right. New England Patriots 82, tomorrow's date, the day the Super Bowl is going to be written, 8-2. If Boston wins tomorrow, their coach is going to be in the Celtics, Boston Celtics. Their coach is going to be 217 and 82 in the regular season. Keep an eye on that. But, hey, you big cutie. But okay. So anyway, Drake May School, another comeback. Drake just had a big comeback. Remember last night, Boston came back from down 21 versus Miami when the original NFL Seahawks franchise was the Miami Seahawks, who became the Baltimore Colts. And you got to see this score today. They do this every year, you guys. I've been talking about the same things for a decade. Again, just the world of scripted sports. Some of you guys don't think it's. Hold on, what are we getting into here? Why is it not coming up? Did I type it wrong? All right. Can you see this score right here? Can you see this score right here? Okay. George Mason, you guys, in college basketball, George Mason's nickname are the Patriots. Tomorrow's Super Bowl 60, right? George Mason got their 21st win today over the St. Joseph's Hawks. The St. Joseph's Hawks. 112 points there in the game. They do this every year, you guys. Remember, 52 days before the Super Bowl. 52 days before the Super Bowl. Jeez. I can't type. See the Super Bowl has the 112 connection as well. Again, 52 days before the Super Bowl, that was the Seahawks' epic comeback over the Rams, the 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter in the first game of Week 16 on the day Greg Biffle died, which was the same day that Trump declared the Patriot games. Again, 52 days before the Super Bowl. So you look at that. George Mason Patriots, 60-52. And shoot, my mind is slipping. There was another thing. Ow, jeez. What are you doing to Dad? Are you trying to give me a shave? Uh, mm, my mind slipped. I can't remember what the other thing was. Well, it was more along the lines of the same thing. Here, I'll give you. I'll give you another one to keep an eye on tomorrow. This game before the championship here, Ohio State. That's where Mike Vrabel coached versus Michigan, where Tom Brady went. You see how Michigan's on 21. You see how Ohio State's 15-7. Look at Super Bowl LX. How you would write it out with Roman numerals. 167, right? It's also 50 like San Francisco. San Francisco equals 15, the same cipher. So just keep an eye on the outcome of this game tomorrow. Quite interesting. You see that Michigan fall to 11-2. I was just talking about Super Bowl in 112. In this case, Ohio State. Ohio State. Yeah, 112 and University of Michigan. 112. Pretty interesting, right? The amazing things that just line up once you learn gematria and you start to see how the game is rigged. But yeah, if you guys aren't up on all the 21s in the Super Bowl, tomorrow NBC is hosting the Super Bowl for the 21st time. It's the 21st meeting between the Seahawks and the Patriots. The last time they played in Super Bowl 49, it came down to Russell Wilson's 21st pass getting intercepted by number 21, which led to Brady's 21st postseason win on the down 2nd and 1 and on the date 2-1. And this time the Super Bowl is exactly 21 weeks after the Pope's birthday. It's also exactly 49 weeks after Malcolm Butler's birthday, who was number 21, who made the interception in Super Bowl 49 as we get the Super Bowl 49 rematch in the 49ers stadium. And, Drake May just happens to come into the game 20-12. So Mike Vrabel hasn't won the Super Bowl in 21 years. We'll see what happens here. No. That doesn't do it. Be careful. Be careful. They'll eat everything. There you go. That's a good one to grab. I highlighted that. All right. So yeah. Anyway, it's just another day in the world of scripted sports. But yeah, a lot of comebacks here. Down 13. UNC overcomes Duke. Oh, that was the other point I wanted to make. So I pointed out how he died 211 days after the Superman movie came out. That's true, which is the 47th prime. If you counted the span of days, it would be 212 days. 212 days. And in light of the Super Bowl connection, Seattle, Washington, 2-1-2. Tonight, Duke fell to 21-2 versus UNC, Drake May School. And remember, there was a Jewish rapper from Seattle who put out a song at the start of the season called $106 for the 106th NFL season. And in there, he raps about 106 and 2-1-2, which is obviously 106 times 2. But this is the kind of stuff. The world of entertainment, the number clues, the cabal, the Kabbalah, a lot of it going over people's heads. And it's amazing. It's amazing. More people just don't appreciate this in 2026. Sweet girl. Eric M93 says Patriots versus the Emerald City, about to unmask the wizard, multiple Bidens, and Orange Man pulling the strings behind the curtain. Shout out to the script writers. Okay, it's an interesting thought. All right, appreciate it, Eric. I'm assuming that's Eric that comes out and pounds payment with me when I go out to Seattle. It's been a minute. That's you. Shout out to Eric. Space Invader. This Super Bowl will be NBC's 21st broadcast Super Bowls. And yes, it will. One of many 20. By the way, you guys, on the Jewish calendar, tomorrow's Super Bowl is on the 21st of Shavat. Shabbat also equals 21. So that's another 21. There's so many 21s on tomorrow's Super Bowl. It is ridiculous. Oh, thank you. Mike Cool 613 says, "Hi Zach, did anyone point out Darnold's stats in 2020?" I'll have to take a look at that. Or I guess I can pull it up real quick for you. Football Reference 2020. God, I can't even think what team Darnold was on in 2020. He was an NFL journeyman until this year. He might have found himself a home. No. Okay. 2020. I can't even think why 2020 would matter so much. His last year with the Jets, 2-10, 217 completions. Maybe that's what you're talking about, because New England Patriots is 217. 9 touchdowns, 11 INTs. I see where you're going with this. Just like how the Patriots come into this game for the Seahawks with 9 wins, 11 losses. Okay. Yeah, that is quite interesting. I don't think anybody had pointed that out to me. Good eyes. What a tribute. Remember, in 1968, the Jets won their only Super Bowl the same year that World Trade Center construction began in New York, and 911 was made the national emergency dialing code, and George W. Bush got a Yale Skull and Bones, and Boeing in Seattle debuted their jumbo jetliners like the Japanese-American from Boeing. Designed the World Trade Centers, and Magnus and Klemenkic Associates helped build the World Trade Centers. And yeah, a lot of, Pete Carroll, who coached USC, where Sam Darnold went in college, the Jets, the Patriots, the Seahawks. Now he's with the Raiders, who Tom Brady's the part owner of. And again, geez, Ruby, making a disaster over here. Got a 30-minute cleanup project when we're done. I literally just heard that song on the radio before I got home. Did you see what happened to Terrence Gore? Somebody got another decode to do tonight. I need to go to bed. I'm exhausted. Edit. Come on, man. Black equals 34, like murder. Jeez. Oh, man. Yeah, okay, I just had to do the math in my head. He died 122 days before his birthday, and it's the 122nd World Series upcoming. And he played for Kansas City, which equals 122. And I told you guys the other day, they'll look out for Kansas City. They're a sleeper team. Let me make sure my math is right. February 6, 2026 to June 8th. Ruby. Yeah, look at that. 122 days before his birthday, and it's the 122nd World Series. And like I just said, Kansas City's 122 in the most simple cipher. The alphabetic order. Talk about that number a lot with the Chiefs and the Royals over the years. I see he played for the Royals. Hold on, the camera's on. Ruby, your mama wants you. Your mama wants you. Go see your mama? Can you go see mama? You'd rather hang out with daddy? Daddy's desk is more fun? All right, hold on, Ruby. Let's go see mama real quick. Let's go see mama. Whoop. 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 Okay. All right. Bear with me 1 second here. Starting to pick up the disaster. Okay. Let me he won the World Series 3 times. He probably won it with that Kansas City team over the Mets. That was 11 World Series ago. 111th World Series. I still remember that 111th World Series. At the end of the first game of the 111th World Series, they announced the crew. They said, sadly, tonight's opening pitcher and closer both just lost their fathers within the last 24 hours. And I was like, okay, people don't find this stuff weird. I mean, first game of the World Series, and the guy who opened the game and the guy who closed the game, both of their dads died in the last 24 hours. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with people, man. I really don't. I look at YouTube. I look at the people that put out this content that's just, I don't even know how it gets a likes. I'm like, God, this is just worthless content. It's got 10,000 likes and put out a video like this, just giving people all this gold. We'll be lucky if it has 300 likes 300 days from now. Anyway, of course, that's YouTube. Taking away likes, views, comments, everything. He was drafted in 2011 by the Royals. 111th World Series 11 years ago. Yeah, he was on that Royals team. He was on that Royals team. He was on the Royals team that beat the Mets. If you guys forgot, that was the 111th World Series. Gave it to you in spring training. The Mets were going to be the team in the NL at 40-1 odds to win the pennant. New York won 11, and Kansas City, the Royals, the Queen was alive back then. The Queen's birthday was the 111th day of the year, April 21st. Also Rome's birthday. Remember who died last year on April 21st? The Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 111. Who else retired that day? Jesuit educated Klaus Martin Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum. Yeah, it's just sick, man. 34 years old. 34 years old, man. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to his death in light of it being right before the Super Bowl. You know, National Football League equals 122. It's probably part of it. Kansas City, Cubs, Dodgers, Mets. Well, for you Seahawks fans, there's your prayer right there. He's got two numbers that are good for the Seahawks. The Seahawks are trying to become 12-9 versus the Patriots and drop the Patriots to 6-6 in the Super Bowl, and Seahawks does have that 129 connection. Yeah, it's interesting. That's interesting. Seattle and San Francisco both on the 122nd meridian. But yeah, the big one for him is World Series champ, dead 122 days for his birthday before the year of the 122nd World Series. And yeah, just also the National Football League connection. I'll think about it more for Terrence Gore, but I know those are the key pieces. He played in 112 regular season games over that lengthy career. 112, you guys. Just and dead right before the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 112. Okay. Appreciate the heads up, Evan. Cashville Lady says, Zach, you are my daily news. Thank you. You are so welcome, Cashville Lady. Appreciate you always being here, leaving it. I mean, you're one of the only people I see consistently leave a comment and a like. I wish there were more like you. Thank you so much. Gary, what's up, Gary? He says, to your point about him being connected to Trump, on July 13th, 2024, Brad Arnold posted an image on Instagram of Trump saying Trump 2024. Oh, the day of the shooting hoax. I see. Out of curiosity. $574 days later. Now, there's not a number I'm familiar with. Okay, now there's a number I am familiar with. Okay, so from the day of the shooting hoax where he posted on social media about it to the death, 82 weeks. What have I been saying about how Seattle has the kryptonite-inspired uniforms? Seattle 82, New England Patriots 82. Super Bowl's on the 8th day of the second month. Majority of the world writes that date, 8-2. Nice one, Gary. Gary, sailing the world. Still got time for a Gematria contribution. Appreciate it, Gary. Let's see. Get over here 95 says 202-5 in the house. What's up, man? Earlier I heard you say line bet Patriots when they were down at halftime. UNC was down at 12 against Duke at halftime. UNC came back and won. And again, just like my note said this morning, follow the 21-19 in college basketball. Duke stays on 21. UNC picks up 19. And that we got both upsets on Duke this year. Earlier this year on Saturnalia, Saturn 93, Texas Tech became 9-3 versus Duke, and the Blue Devils fell to 11-1, like Blue Devils 111. So. Yeah, I wonder if the Duke players know the script as well as we do. I wonder. But yeah, what a sick world it is, man. What a sick world it is. And just out of curiosity, what else is in the obituaries today? Benny Indra Arianto, Indonesian politician, dead at 33 on the 38th day of the year. Brad Arnold, top of the headlines here in the U.S. Lithuanian footballer. I don't know him, but I'm sure they do in Lithuania. American filmmaker and academic Daniel Boyd. Fulbright Fellowship. Maybe a major movie buff would know. It stands out that his first movie was in 87. I just told you about 87. And again, you guys, it's 87 days after the Superior General's birthday. Oh, by the way, that was the other thing I meant to tell you about. Remember, didn't I tell you to look out for a score of 84 in today's Arizona game? Didn't I say that? And like, with their 84-year-old mother, did you see Arizona won with 84 today? And Oklahoma State lost with 47. Trump's going to deploy all the forces. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you to look out for 84 in this game today? That's what I was trying to think of earlier. For anyone who see, I think the thing about this knowledge is it's just too overwhelming to a new person. They're going, "How is all this done?" Okay, instead of asking yourself how it's done, just pay attention to it, the fact it is done every day, and then you'll start to think more and more about how it is done. Uh, we'll see. I guarantee you more people are gonna get added to that list. But yeah, 38th day of the year. It's fateful every year. Every year. Curious about this Indonesian politician. He's got an April 14th birthday, huh? The day in history Lincoln was shot. Alright. He's got a span of 67 days from his birthday, like blood sacrifice. Okay. Yeah, my wife wasn't real thrilled about me doing a video tonight. If you guys notice, I haven't done a whole lot on the weekends, but I say, this is a big celebrity death. A lot of people really like that band, Three Doors Down. Stuff needs to be called out. Needs to be called out, whether people appreciate it or not. Alright, sweet lady just sent me a text message, said she needs some help. All right, guys. We'll leave it there for now. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. By the way, if you're watching this on Gematria Effect Sports, YouTube took away all my abilities to post links and descriptions. They did that a few days ago, just in time for the Super Bowl, so I couldn't promote my work on my main sports channel. So nice of YouTube. Thanks for pocket watching hardcore YouTube. You guys are just the best out there. I really appreciate it. I haven't lost that feature, luckily, on GematriaEffectNews, which has become my main channel. But yeah, if you guys are trying to get the intel before the games, there's a lot of information on the Patreon, player props, ways to potentially turn $1 into more than $100. It's the kind of thing we like to do with the rig knowledge. Again, search Patreon, Zachary K. Hubbard if you're on Gematria Effect News. Or what did I rename this channel now? Now we call it channels in the lead 20 sometimes. Now we're Number Games with Zachary K. Hubbard. Again, in the description is the link for the Patreon. But if you just search in your search engine, Patreon, Zachary K. Hubbard, like old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard, you will find my page. And if you can find those Super Bowl notes or the live stream from today, and we'll be doing another one tomorrow with some updates to the notes because there's even more research to do and more headlines to follow. Again, I'm not trying to turn you into a gambling junkie, but instead of wasting your money on lotto tickets and all the other crap people waste their money on, learn to turn $1 into $50, $100. It's fun. All right. Until next time, True Seeker. Have a good evening.